Understand English but can't speak?
Speak simple.
Speak confident.
English Boost.
Boost your English.
Hey everyone, I'm Alex. Imagine walking into a tiny street-side stall in Tokyo and pointing at the only picture on the board, only to get a dish that makes your taste buds do a backflip. That moment felt like opening a mystery box, and it sparked a question that's perfect for today's episode. Today, we're diving into the world of mystery meals and the English words that help you describe every surprise.
And I'm Sarah, your fellow food explorer. Did you know that over 40% of travelers say they've tried a dish without knowing what it was, simply because the menu was in a foreign language? That statistic shows how common mystery meals really are and why mastering the right vocabulary matters. In this episode, we'll turn those unknown plates into learning opportunities.
We'll start by defining what a mystery meal actually is, then move on to flavor and texture words that let you describe food like a pro. I'll share a few research-backed tips on how to stay safe when you can't read the menu, and Sarah will sprinkle in her favorite real-world stories. By the end, you'll feel confident ordering the unknown and talking about it in English.
Exactly, Alex. You'll learn how to ask the right questions, how to express likes and dislikes, and even how to handle allergies without missing a beat. We'll also practice a quick dialogue you can use the next time you sit down at a foreign cafe. So stay tuned, because the first story is already waiting for you.
But here's what's really interesting. The surprise isn't just about the food, it's about the language you use to describe the surprise. When you can label that heat, that sour punch, or that odd texture, the mystery becomes an adventure rather than a risk. Let's jump into our first subtopic and unpack the basics of mystery meals.
All right, let's start with the simple question. What exactly counts as a mystery meal? Is it a chef's special, a secret menu item, or just a dish you order without a translation? We'll answer that and set the stage for the vocabulary deep dive. And trust me, the answers are more varied than you might think.
A mystery meal, Sarah, is any dish you order without knowing the exact ingredients or preparation method. It can be a chef's surprise, a daily special written in a language you don't read, or even a blind tasting challenge at a restaurant. The key element is uncertainty, which creates both excitement and a need for clear communication. What most people don't realize is that this uncertainty can be managed with a few strategic questions.
Exactly, Alex. The first question you can ask is, what's in this? A simple, direct way to get a quick rundown of the main components. You can also say, does this contain any nuts or dairy, to cover common allergens? Here's where it gets fascinating. Using these phrases not only protects you, but also expands your English vocabulary in a practical way.
Speaking of vocabulary, let's break down the 5 basic taste words: sweet, salty, sour, bitter, and spicy. Sweet describes foods with sugar or honey, like desserts or ripe fruit, and you can say, this sauce is really sweet. Salty refers to foods high in salt, such as chips or soy sauce, and you might comment, the broth is a bit too salty for my taste. Each word opens a door to more precise descriptions.
And don't forget sour, Alex, the zing you get from lemons, vinegar, or fermented foods. A useful phrase is, the dressing is quite sour. Could we add a touch of honey? Bitter, on the other hand, appears in coffee, dark chocolate, or certain greens, and you can say, this coffee is very bitter. I need some milk. These descriptors help you convey exactly what you're feeling on the palate.
Spicy is the final piece of the flavor puzzle, and it's often the most surprising element in mystery meals. You can describe it with, the soup is extremely spicy, I might need water. But here's a tip. Instead of just saying spicy, you can specify the level, mild, medium, hot, or blazing, to give a clearer picture. And that brings us to texture, which is equally important.
Texture words let you talk about how food feels in your mouth. Think of words like crunchy, creamy, chewy, slimy, and tender. For example, you could say, the dumplings are delightfully chewy, but the sauce is a bit too thin. And here's a fun fact. Many learners forget texture, yet it's a powerful way to express preference or aversion.
Now let's apply those words to a real story. When I visited a night market in Bangkok, I ordered a special soup without asking what it contained. The first spoon hit my palate with a hot, spicy broth, followed by a chewy texture that turned out to be beef tripe. I described it to the vendor as, it's very spicy and the texture is quite chewy. And he laughed, saying it's a local favorite.
That's a perfect illustration, Alex. I once ordered a mystery sushi roll in Osaka and was surprised to find it topped with bright orange roe. My immediate reaction was, wow, that's a lot of fish eggs. I used the word salty to describe the briny flavor and slimy for the texture, which helped the chef understand my feedback. And that's just the beginning of how precise language can shape the experience.
But the real game changer is safety. If you have an allergy, you need to ask, does this dish contain peanuts or shellfish? You can also phrase it as, I'm allergic to nuts. Can you recommend a safe option? This not only protects you, but also shows respect for the kitchen staff's effort to accommodate you.
Absolutely, Alex. And when you're unsure, you can always say, can you tell me more about the ingredients? It's a polite way to get details without sounding demanding. Here's where it gets fascinating. Many restaurants love to share the story behind a mystery dish, turning the unknown into a cultural lesson.
Let's pause for a quick practice. Imagine you're at a cafe in Madrid and the menu is all in Spanish. How would you ask about a dish called Plato del Dia? You could say, what's in the daily plate? Or, does it contain any dairy? Try it out loud and notice how the question opens the conversation.
Great exercise, Alex. And after you get the answer, you can respond with a flavor description. For instance, it sounds a bit spicy, but I love sweet sauces, so I'll give it a try. This way, you're actively using the new vocabulary while staying safe. What do you think, Alex? Is there a phrase you'd add?
I'd add, I'm not a fan of bitter flavors. Could we adjust the seasoning? It's a polite way to steer the dish toward your preferences without sounding picky. And that leads us to the next subtopic. How to give constructive feedback in English after trying a mystery meal.
Feedback is key, Alex. You can start with a positive note like, the presentation was beautiful, then move to specifics such as, the texture was a bit too slimy for my taste. Ending with a suggestion like, maybe a dash of lemon would brighten the flavor, keeps the tone friendly and helpful.
And here's a cliffhanger. The next story involves a dish that looked like a dessert but tasted completely savory. I'll share it after we explore a few more vocabulary gems, because you'll need the right words to describe that surprise.
Speaking of gems, let's add a few more texture adjectives: flaky, gritty, velvety, and crunchy. You might say, the pastry is wonderfully flaky, but the filling feels gritty, or the soup is velvety and smooth, perfect for a cold day. These nuances make your descriptions vivid and memorable.
Now back to that mystery dessert savory hybrid. I ordered a sweet surprise in a small bistro in Lisbon, expecting a cake, but it arrived as a savory cheese tart with a hint of caramel. I described it as, it's sweet and salty with a creamy texture that melts in my mouth. The chef was thrilled I noticed the balance, and he explained the inspiration behind it.
What a perfect example of how flavor words can capture complexity. When you say sweet and salty, you're instantly painting a picture for listeners, and the texture word creamy adds that final layer of detail. It shows that even unexpected dishes can be described elegantly.
But the real takeaway is that mystery meals are a playground for language learners. Each bite offers an opportunity to practice adjectives, ask questions, and give feedback. And if you ever feel nervous, remember the simple phrase, can you tell me more about this dish? It's your passport to clarity.
Exactly, Alex. And for those watching, try a mini challenge this week. Order one dish without reading the description, then use at least 3 new flavor or texture words to describe it. Share your experience in the comments, and we'll feature some of the best stories in our next episode.
Before we wrap up the main discussion, let's recap the key vocabulary. Sweet, salty, sour, bitter, spicy, crunchy, creamy, chewy, slimy, flaky, velvety, and gritty. Pair each with a safety phrase like, does this contain, or I'm allergic to. This combo equips you for any culinary adventure.
And remember, the best way to internalize these words is to use them in real conversations. Whether you're at a street market, a fancy restaurant, or cooking at home, describing what you taste reinforces the language. So keep practicing and let curiosity guide your palate.
One last tip, Sarah. When you're unsure about a word, you can always say, I'm not sure how to describe this, but it feels, and then use a gesture. Body language bridges any language gap and shows you're engaged. It's a universal tool that works everywhere.
That's a fantastic point, Alex. Gestures plus simple adjectives make communication smooth, even when the menu is a mystery. And that's truly remarkable. The power of language to turn uncertainty into excitement.
We've covered a lot today, from defining mystery meals to mastering flavor and texture vocabulary, and even safety phrases for allergies. I hope you feel more confident ordering the unknown and describing it in English. If you enjoyed this episode, give it a thumbs up and share it with friends who love food adventures.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Remember, every mystery dish is a chance to learn a new word, a new culture, and maybe even a new favorite food. Keep experimenting, keep speaking, and most importantly, keep having fun with your palate.
Don't forget to subscribe to English Boost for more tasty language lessons, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Next week, we'll explore idioms that come from the world of cooking. You won't want to miss it.
And if you have a mystery meal story of your own, drop it in the comments below. We love hearing your experiences and might feature them in a future episode. Until then, happy eating and happy learning.
Take care, stay curious, and see you next time on English Boost.
Bye, everyone.